hopefully we got some questions in the box there, Barb, and we can get started. There's a lot of people in the chat tonight, so welcome on board, everybody.
Okay, so let's start with a question. First question. I have a take apart question. Does anyone use solder wick to pull the solder off their work if they make a mistake?
Well, you can use the solder wick thing with no problem. I prefer just to stand the window up and melt it and just let it drop down to the table and be done with it that way. And it's much easier, what I call smearing it. Just take it, stand it up, get it hot, and smear it and knock it right down to the floor or to the table. And then it's gone, and then you can just clean it up that way.
I remember your dad used to use that desoldering wick.
Yeah. It's another expense for you, but you can use it because there's nothing wrong with using it. It's just there are much simpler or faster ways to do it. It just depends on how much time you have.
Okay, so.
But it's a good product, and it will do exactly what they say that it does. So basically what the solder wick is a copper braided wire that you can that basically when the solder's melted, it absorbs it into the wick itself. So
Okay. So Bobby wants to know what's new in the studio. We're new. We've got we've got new lights.
And we've got a new microphone, and
our new MacBook came in, and now I can do more editing on the fly. I can do editing at the store, and I can bring it home and finish it at night. Before, I was having to wait days to be able to get to editing.
And our studio's twice the size as it was before, but also we have much different lighting here in the new studio. So
yeah,
we don't have one big bright light as a window, and but then we've added some things to it. We've put in some of our personal glass collection that we have.
We have a little fireplace right here.
And then a lamp that I don't even know how long ago we built that, probably 30 years ago, but it's all bullseye glass. So if you want to know what that lamp is made of, it's made of all bullseye glass, and the base is a solid brass base that we picked up on the side of the road and reworked it and rewired it in order to make it useful for what we needed it for.
Okay, question. Ed, where do you get the sleeves you wear on your arms?
The sleeves that I wear on my arms are...
Did you get those from Amazon?
I got those from Amazon, and I'll have Barb put them up on our page, because what they are they're nylon. They kind of fit like pressure socks on your arms, but what I've found is that, gosh, y'all, when I'm working, I don't ding my elbows up. I don't ding my arms up, like right in here. And it's just much easier for me to work like that. And the other thing that I found out is that when I'm doing repairs, I don't have to worry about dropping solder on my arms and putting pucker marks on my arms. So
I like to wear sleeves because actually, if I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, it keeps my sleeves clean. And at the end of the day, I can just take that off, take my apron off, and I haven't ruined my clothes. So they're good for a lot of different reasons.
We just use a small laundry bag, for washing your linens or what have you, in a small bag when we wash those, so that they don't get all beat up in the washer and dryer. So it just comes out much easier, because you have that problem. How the sock eats the dryer, or the dryer eats the socks. We don't want that happening to our sleeves.
You hear Miss Mary, but can we see her?
See her?
Can you see her?
No, she's right over
out
there.
of color.
There
But
she is.
hopefully she'll be in the shot soon.
Hopefully she's not getting your puppies all barking because she's excited tonight. She's in a good mood.
I don't know if she's in a good mood.
Oh, there she is.
She's in a mood, let's just say that. Okay, Ed, when building a lead panel that has a grid design, do you run the lead full length or width of the panel?
If it's going to stand up, and it's on a grid, you run your lead vertical all the way through, and then run your left and right in between. This way, what it does is that it gives it some legs, and that full length of lead from top to bottom gives it some legs to stand on. If you sit there and you run horizontal pieces, then you're creating some serious hinge joints first of all. And then when the panel does stand up vertically, it's gonna end up collapsing anyway. So make sure you run the lead all the way through, give it some legs to stand on, and then don't forget, make sure you reinforce the panel itself. So.
They saw a video where a person cut a shorter piece of lead for each grid box. So.
Yeah, well, you put the short piece in between, and you run your verticals all the way through. And again, that creates a leg for the window to stand on, so that everything is right there. And then you just put your little pieces in between it. And typically, if you're going to do a grid pattern, you should use probably 3/8 flat H lead anyway, because you want it. Not only do you want it to be rigid, but you also want the glazing compound to get in there and do its job correctly as well. So
that's right. Question. I was asked if you have 2 pieces of zinc, can you solder them together and use it on a panel if it is going to be in a frame?
Well, I guess you could, but what's it going to look like? That's the thing. If you solder 2 pieces of zinc together, are you having to solder it together because you need to add on to the window to make it fit due to mismeasuring, or are you just adding a piece of zinc to it because you think it looks good? I'm not real sure about why you would have to add a piece of zinc. Yeah, you can solder it together, but I'm not sure what it's going to look like for you. You can solder any 2 pieces of anything together, and hopefully that'll, I'm not sure what you're doing with it though, and why you would have to do that unless you didn't make the window
to the size maybe to make it bigger.
To make it big, yeah. That's the only thing that I could figure out why you would want to solder 2 pieces of zinc together.
Yeah, it might be better just to make the border wider.
Yeah, maybe take the existing zinc off of it and redo the border and make it the way that it needs to be done, I guess. That would be one way. It may take a little bit of time, but it will definitely look better for sure. Right?
Yeah,
I'm
not
so.
sure. Maybe they can explain what they're doing and it would make more sense.
Yeah. And it's hard, when you're typing stuff in, it's really hard to be able to explain it completely. Hey, everybody, Ray's in the house tonight. Ray, thank you for everything you do. Let's give Ray a big thumbs up.
Thank
he
you,
works
Ray.
much harder than you guys think that he does. Thank you again, Ray, for everything you do.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate you. Okay, let's see. We have another question.
All right.
What was the book you recommended for learning to build stained glass lampshades?
There's several different books out, but the best lamp books that are out there are from Wardell Publications. There's a lamp book called Northern Lights, and I think we have a couple of lamp books on our page, don't we, Barb?
If you go, Ray has put in the Amazon store. If you go to that Amazon store link and go to books, the best lamp books listed right there.
Are right there.
Yes.
And there, here's the thing about the books that we have suggested that you get when you're building lamps, because they're all flat panel lamps. And what they're going to do is they teach you an awful lot about design and construction of the lamps. And then once you've built a couple of flat panel lamps, building the shapes or the round lamps and using the mold really is not that difficult once you've built a couple. Get a couple lamps under your belt before you start worrying about doing a lamp with a mold. But and the lamps with the molds are typically just 6 repeats. So you build that same panel 6 times and then you attach it together. Building lamps is a lot of fun. So
Yeah. Okay, are there any memorable projects that stand out still in your minds after all these years?
Oh, I know one job that we built for a customer, and it was their second home that we built stained glass windows in. And actually, he was a retired executive from Kellogg's, from the cereal company. And in this particular job, we did some. They were about 9 feet tall, and they were on either side of a fireplace. And they did a quarter arch at the top, and they were a wisteria. Remember those?
Yes,
Barb?
I do.
And we were able to. We just lucked up and got this Yakagani and bullseye glass that created such wisteria flowers that it looked like the window just came to life after we installed it.
We did it in the style of Tiffany.
We did.
And we used a lot of really pretty glass, and it was very, very nice.
Yeah, it was
and
exceptional.
It looked like wisteria.
And we
That
did
was
that
fun.
window, probably 25 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably 25 years ago.
Yeah.
But,
That's one that sticks out in my memory, too.
yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Let's
There are quite a
see.
few. And then, we've done several memorial windows for people. And some of those memorial windows, the one we were just talking about, that's down near Summerville, South Carolina, where we did the bouquet of roses in the stained glass window. Mm-hmm. There she is. I see a
There
little.
she is back there.
I
Come
see.
here.
I see my
say
little.
hello. Come say hello.
You want to say hi?
Come say hello. Come on. Up here.
Come here,
No.
Sheila.
She's
Hey.
she's not going to say hello.
She's
Okay.
over here. There she
Okay,
is.
there she is. All right.
There she is. She wants to lay under my feet.
Okay, here's a question.
Okay, let's
My
go.
glass choices that I can get from the closest supplier here is Spectrum, Oceanside, and Wismac. What do you recommend for a beginner?
Well, here's the thing. They're for a beginner. They're both really easy glasses to work with. You're going to find Oceanside's going to be much more expensive than Wismac probably is, and they both have their own little thing about their glasses, but I prefer to use the Wismac glasses, and it doesn't matter. Keep in mind this, y'all. Just because Oceanside makes only fusing compatible glass, or 96 system 96 glass, but it doesn't matter if it's fusible glass or not. Use it in your stained glass windows, because you're going to find that they still make some really beautiful glass, and it doesn't matter if it's system 96 or not. The only thing is it just makes it a little bit more expensive, but Oceanside does have some really pretty glass. The thing that I kind of have my little thing with Oceanside is not made in America anymore, so.
And I'm not that familiar with Oceanside, and I don't know the cutability of it as opposed to the old Spectrum. So maybe a few of you have a chance to compare the two products. Spectrum used to be the easiest glass to cut. They had the perfect annealing tension.
Yes, they did.
Along with Bullseye. Bullseye's very easy to cut,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion.
Well, Bullseye's just a dream to work with, yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
So,
But if you're a beginner, I would think Oceanside would probably be the most reasonably priced. Or would it be Wismac?
Wismac's going to be priced more reasonable than Oceanside.
Oh, okay.
Oceanside's going to give you a variety of
Oh, that's right. It's
textures and swirls and things like that. But also keep in mind now, Wismac they're the company that makes English Muffle. And English Muffle has 16 different all the same texture, but 16 different colors, and it's really, really beautiful glass. You know.
It's easy to cut too.
It's easy to cut because what it's going to do by using either one of those glasses is just going to build your confidence straight up through the roof, so that you feel very confident when you're cutting glass. So, and everyone should feel confident when they're cutting glass. It doesn't matter what kind of glass it is, and if it's not working right for you, hey, get up, walk away from it a little bit, think a little bit, wash some things around in your head, and then go back and do it.
Okay, we have another question. If I make yard art type butterfly and want to use the doorstop spring as the base, can I just put patina on that to make it turn dark?
On the doorstop spring, the patina only works really good on tin and works on on 60-40 solder. I'm not sure if you can use patina that spring and make it dark. It might be that spring that you're wanting to do. It might be something that you want to sandblast, prime, and then paint it with a lacquer so that it lasts outside a little bit.
You might have to paint it.
Yeah, you might have to paint it because patina doesn't just work on everything. If the spring that you're talking about is in fact brass, then you can take black patina with some regular table salt after you have steel wool that spring, and then that'll turn it black if in fact it is brass. Because that's exactly how we turn our lamp pieces black. The caps, the lamp vase caps. That's how you turn those black. But I don't know. I don't know what kind of a spring.
What are you talking about? Salt and patina? Yeah,
and patina.
You could try it, the salt and patina mixed, and then put it on there. But really what the salt's doing is actually just
oxidizing the brass. Is what
it's just
so if it's not
out.
if it's not brass or copper, it's not going to work. So
okay.
But sandblasting it, priming it, and painting it with outdoor lacquer would be much nicer.
Here's the question.
Hey.
Is there a brand and type of glass that is particularly easy to cut for making more complex shapes?
All the glass, if you practice your glass cutting, all the glass is most of it is easy to cut. Your heavy duty textures like your Yakagani and your your Oceana, those glasses are a little bit more difficult to cut. But if you practice and learn how to cut the glass and learn how it reacts instead of automatically going to a saw, if you will teach yourself how to cut the glass, it's much more fulfilling when you do get that particular piece of glass out. So that's just my opinion, y'all. I don't use a saw in my studio, but I've taught myself over the 43 years I've been doing this to cut just about everything.
So I would
or
say,
anything. I'm sorry.
I would say the Wismac English muffle
is probably the
easiest to
safest.
cut.
Yeah.
And then the Bullseye cathedral glasses are very easy to cut.
Yeah.
And there's another one I'm thinking of. Your antiques.
Well,
your
yeah,
antique
any of your
glasses
antique
are
glasses are
very soft and very sweet.
Right.
So
the mouth-blown antique glasses.
Mouth-blown antiques.
Yeah, we don't have
so
that. So
those are the ones that I personally find easy to cut, and I'm always about easy.
Yeah, Barb, well, and I don't choose my glasses for my projects because they're easy to cut. I choose my glasses for my projects because that's what I want my project to look like. And if I have to cut a piece of glass twice instead of just once, and it comes out the way that I want it to do, and when I'm finished, that window looks exactly the way I had it seen in my mind's eye, then that's what makes me happy. So, and there's nothing wrong, y'all. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using a saw to cut your glass. It doesn't, maybe it sounds like I would I don't I don't condone saws, but it's okay. Do it if that's what you want to do. I just prefer. Ed prefers to cut the glass by hand and make it happen. I feel better when it comes
I want to
out.
give a big shout out to Scott. Thank you, Scott, and the members are here. The new members are here. Scott gave away some memberships.
That's
and they
right.
Got some first view videos. So that was very generous of you, Scott. Thumbs up to Scott.
Thank you, Scott. And I hope everybody's well there in Virginia. And we just want to say hi to everybody. And I want to just reach out and touch base and say hi to my son and my mother-in-law, Joan. How you doing tonight? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate it.
Hi, Mom. Hope you're well. And my sister.
We'll see you this weekend.
Okay, here's another question. I've seen the garden art on Pinterest that had a big plank of wood with a cutout and then filled the cutout with stained glass. I can't find any info on how to keep the glass in place.
Typically, those pieces are the back of them is routed out, and then they leave a lip for the glass to lay against, and then typically they are just siliconed in place. So that's the best way to do that. And if you're really handy with glazing compound and can actually glaze, run a bead around a wood sash window, you could also glaze those pieces of glass in that direction, in that method. But most of those are just are put in the wooden shapes or whatever they have, cut to fit, and then siliconed in so they can't come out. And if you can't run a bead of silicone, find somebody that can, because you can make a really pretty piece of work, but you can ruin it when you try to seal it. So,
For those of you who are here for the first time,
welcome.
I'm Barb and this is Ed, and we come to you live every Monday night at 7 o'clock. If you don't make it for the live, we've always got the reruns, we've always got the show up, and you can watch it 24/7. We try to put out new videos every week,
We're working on new videos every day, so it's just a matter of getting them done.
That's right. And we appreciate everyone who is a member. If you'd like to be a member and help support the channel, we also love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We would like to reach 100,000 members at some point.
100,000 subscribers, yeah.
Subscribers.
And right now you guys
Or
are pushing us
100,000
towards
members.
27,000, which is really nice, don't you think, Barb?
Yes.
It has far exceeded what I thought it would be in this short a period of time. So
Yeah, so we've had an exciting year, and we appreciate everyone that's given us super chats and super stickers. Become members. It's very exciting for you, and that's the way. Those things help support our channel and keep us going make it happen.
And those of you that donated to the media project, we want to thank you as well. We appreciate that so much.
Yes. Okay, let's see. I have another question here. When using textured glass, does it really have a top side, bottom side? Any hints unsoldering the textured glass together? Unsoldering the textured glass together.
Well, when you have textured glass, yeah, it has a front and a back side, because some of the texture is going to be really heavy on one side, and the back side's still going to be somewhat textured, but that's the side you're going to want to cut glass on. Also, if you're having trouble attaching your foil, you may want to have to grind the edge of your textured glass a little bit to kind of eliminate some of the sharpness of it and to eliminate some of the texture, because that will also help you with your foiling process. And then make sure that you get the foil. And we did this weekend in our beginner stained glass, because several of the students use textured glass. And express to them that you have to make sure when you're using textured glass that you push the foil into those crevices and, you know, smooth it out the best way that you can, so that when you do put those pieces together that they fit correctly. So we had a full class this weekend
We
too,
sure
Barb.
did.
Wow.
We had a
What
fun
a great
beginner
time.
class. We've got classes listed and up on the website at conwayglass.com. You can go there and see all of our classes and what we've got coming up through September. We've got some
Oh, yeah,
beginner
through
classes,
September.
some make and take, and some lead light classes. I think there's availabilities in all of those.
Except May's lead light class, right?
I'm not sure if that's,
Oh, we might have one space available.
we might
in
have
that
one
class.
space available, but you're welcome to go check it out, and we'd love to see you in the studio. So, what is a good source to get the mirror glass to use in the bottom of a jewelry box?
Well, the simplest way would be to go to your local glass company there in wherever that you live at, because most communities do have a small glass company, and you want to use the 1/8 inch mirror and have them cut them, or you can cut them. But I think if you'll buy a 12 by 12 and then you can cut it, you end up actually getting 6 pieces 4 by 6 out of a 12 by 12. And that 12 by 12 should run you about $18 or so, $20.
Yeah, it should be readily available.
What happens is if you have them cut the little pieces for you, they're going to charge you X number of dollars per piece. But if you'll get a 12 by 12, you'll get 6 4-inch by 6-inch mirrors out of it, and you can cut it yourself, and it'll be less costly for you.
And they'll be exact. the
Right,
way
and they'll
you
be the
want
way
them.
you want them. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, question. Let's see. How is glass on glass different from typical stained glass creation with soldering?
Glass on glass. How is it? Well, the one thing is if it breaks, it's done.
Well,
It-
glass
it-
on glass is when you take pieces of glass and actually
Glue them.
glue them onto a piece of glass.
Right.
And so you can either grout that with regular grout, or you can just leave it. So there's
Yeah.
no soldering at all involved in glass on glass.
Right. And you want to make sure if you're going to do glass on glass, gluing it to it, you want to make sure you sand the edges of the pieces of glass that you're gluing on. Otherwise, you create a really sharp piece of art, and not in sharp as in looks, as in sharp that'll cut you. So make sure that you do at least sand those pieces. And, you know, glass on glass art is really pretty. It just, but, you know, I've seen a lot of people, they'll grout it. They'll use ceramic tile grout. And there, I think it looks pretty good. The drawback of it is once the piece of glass cracks that the pieces are glued to, it's pretty much finished.
Okay, another question. This person's been asked to do a window to fill a skylight in a bathroom. Is that able to be done in copper foil?
Oh, gosh. You know, here's the thing about skylights. If it's something that you've never done before, read up about it. Skylights have to be reinforced a certain way. And I don't think that I would even put it in the skylight unless I put a piece of safety glass underneath of it. By safety glass, I mean laminated glass like the windshield of your car. It's going above your head. So keep that in mind. And the fact that you're going to need to reinforce it so that it doesn't sag, break, or fall on somebody to hurt them. So
Yeah, there's a certain way to install
skylights.
skylights.
And there's a very specific glass that you use to protect them. And wow, Barb, look, Loka's kind of.
What?
We just got a donation to the cause.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You got the light going in the TV screen there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I
We
think
appreciate
you're taking a class. Aren't you taking a class coming up? We spoke earlier today. Thank you so much, Lokai. Okay. Yes, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, Karen, think about that. And if you have any more questions on that, give us a holler, okay? Could you guys recommend a supplier for light tables, or is it a better idea to make your own?
Actually, I think it's a better idea to make your own because you can make it the size that you want. All of the LED shop lights that would go inside of it they come in 2 foot now, 24 inches, 36 inches, or 48 inches. And depending on the workspace that you have, you can always incorporate your light box into your work table and make it all one piece so that you can go right from the light box right to fabricating your window. But I think I would build it myself and then always make sure that you use tempered safety glass for the top so that you don't get hurt and your hand doesn't go through the glass. And always try to use at least 3/16 tempered and use an obscure glass so that the light is diffused when it comes through underneath of it for you. So personally, I think I've never seen a light box out there other than the little 18 by 24 ones and then the little 12 by 18 little light tables that you have for use tracing and painting. But those are all too small to... my light box that we use is 42 inches by 60 inches, and that allows me to lay a big window on the light box. And it actually allows me to lay big sheets of glass on the light box too to see exactly what's going on inside of them. So yeah, I would go ahead and build your own and make sure that you use, hey, I'm Barb, I'm sorry.
Just scoot me right
Let
out
me
of your
get
way.
you over here, girl. And so yeah, I would build my own and because only you know what size you need your light box. And that's mine. Mine sometimes Barbara and I think it's a little bit big, but there's always that time that it could be too small. So
Yeah, after you have other things on it, it starts getting smaller.
there she is. Hey,
Okay, let's see.
there she is. There's Miss Mary. Everybody, hi, everybody. There she is.
Okay. I have started putting a piece together, and now I have discovered that the glass that I chose is different widths. Can I still use it or should scrap it?
No, it's different thicknesses, and that's fine. Yeah, it's different thicknesses, and it's the same. Probably the same glass. It's just textured, and where the texture is, it's thicker. So yeah, you know what? Just be careful when you're foiling it. Mm-hmm. Use your X-Acto knife to clean up any edges that don't look right to you. But yeah, go ahead and use the glass. Don't change the glass just because it's different thicknesses, because that's what's actually going to make your window look like you want it to look.
You might want a thicker foil on those pieces if it's that much different.
If it's a lot of difference, I would go from maybe a 7/32 to a 1/4 inch, and you can go back and forth because you have your X-Acto knife to trim that foil back and make everything look uniform. So
that happens.
But I like the idea of using different thicknesses of glass, and that's why we use a number 2 high heart lead a lot, because we want to be able to use those glasses that are a little thicker sometimes, but still be able to put it inside.
That's the beauty
lead.
with the lead, yes,
Yeah,
because you can use the high heart lead, and you can use all the same when you're using different textures.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't Oceanside make Euroburst and Spectrum?
Well, Oceanside make Spectrum. I don't know that they make Ouroboros.
I don't know who makes Euroburst. Euroburst makes Euroburst, right?
Yeah.
I believe. I think. Let's see. Is there a difference in look between fusible and non-fusible?
Not really. Actually,
No.
the fusible glasses that Bullseye makes are one of the prettiest glasses that are in in the realm of glass itself, because it's just really pretty.
You can't tell the difference. No,
That you can't
by
tell the
looking at it.
difference. That's why they have stickers on them, so that you can tell whether they're, Bullseye has tested compatible. Oceanside has just System 96 on it. Euroburrows is System 96 now. And Wismac is making, they used to make 90, now they're making 96. So they just want everything to fit together, I guess. And, fusing's a lot of fun, Barb. Fusing's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But you don't, because you're using fusible glass, doesn't mean you have to use it to fuse with. Use it in your panels, use it in your commission work, because some of those glasses are just absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, I'm wanting to try and make a stained glass wreath. Just don't know what hoop to buy and where best place to buy them. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you really, if you're going to make a wreath, you don't even need a hoop. You can just overlay the piece about 100 pieces of glass and make your own wreath by overlaying leaves of glass. And there's a real popular pattern out there that requires about 100 leaves, and they're all the back is tacked soldered together, and then there's another layer that's tacked soldered together, and then there's another layer that's tacked soldered together, and they're all about 35 pieces each, and it comes to about 100 pieces, and it's a pattern that's out there. It's just a Christmas wreath is what it is.
So if you are really concerned with, maybe you want to hang it somewhere and you're really concerned about it, you can wire the back and wire it to any size hoop that you want to buy, if that's something you want to do. But there's no special hoop for that.
Yeah, and if you're gonna try and solder anything to a hoop, make sure your hoop is copper or brass. Because that's what everything sticks to, is copper or brass.
Okay, I'm wanting to try and make a stained glass. Oh, we got that one. I'm still new and learning, but I need to buy a new soldering iron. I'd love any suggestions. And Ray has put a link to the ARTyRV Amazon page that has our favorite recommended soldering irons. But Ed, you want to tell me?
Well, there's three different irons there. So Weller's going to make your most common iron, and you're going to want to make sure if you're not using a rheostat, you want to make sure that go ahead and get a rheostat for your new iron so it'll last you a long time. Now, if you do copper foil and you don't mind a little bit of heaviness, the Hacko iron, the Hacko 601 is a nice iron. Barb and I did a review on that. The only thing we found that we didn't like about it was that the cord was a little bit too short for us, and it's not one of the cords that you can actually plug an extension cord in.
Yeah, it's short, and plus I don't like having to find that little tiny thing to change the dial when I want to turn my iron down. That is very annoying.
Yeah, so use a Weller 100 watt. The iron that I use in my studio and that Barbara uses is we use the Weller 100 watt P, 100P.
100P.
100P. That's a great iron. It's got a blue handle on it, and if you'll use a rheostat on about between 7 and 8, you're going to find that that tip on that Weller iron will stay just like a almost gold but not quite purple, and if you can keep that look on that tip, that'll be satisfactory for everything you want to solder.
Yes, Yakagani bought Ouroboros and it's starting to make it again.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good, so now it'll be made in Pennsylvania.
A question about this window here. Is it 3 pieces?
It actually is 3 individual pieces, and in an old wooden sash, and it's really a pretty window. So inside that inside the window, the dark pieces that look kind of amber looking, like, let me see, right there, that piece right there above on the tip of my finger. So that was done. It was done with silver. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. And then they splattered it with squeegee oil, and it made the most beautiful pattern you've ever seen, ever. So it's really, really a pretty pattern. I'm going to try it because I'm pretty sure that that's how they did it. And the only way that I'm going to know how they did that pattern on that glass is to actually try it. So they took a silver stain, okay, that we used to paint with. We put it on the back side of faces and hands and bodies, and what it creates that beautiful skin tone that we all enjoy. But so this, I'm going to try it with the squeegee oil and see if it'll produce those little marks, because that glass has got a beautiful pattern to it, doesn't it, Barb?
Yeah, it's very
And I've never seen anything like it, but I was trying to figure out how it was made.
I think they showed us that at class when we were at Corning, right?
They
How to
may
do
have,
that?
yeah.
Okay. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. You want to do a glass demo today?
Yeah, we're just gonna. I had the whole class liked my Silver Snit 2000 glass cutter because the head didn't swivel and it had a index finger rest on it, and everyone really liked it. I didn't bring out my Silver Snit running pliers because they're a little advanced for a beginner class, but they did get to use all the other tools that we specify.
What was their favorite cutter?
Their favorite cutter was actually my personal cutter.
Yeah, that was funny, right?
I know. I was like, well, you guys can't have that one or use it. But so we all know that my personal cutter has the solder around the brass and a little finger, and that holds my finger against, and doesn't allow me to get tired. So anyway, but that glass cutter tonight, everybody, is sitting in the classroom on the table because I didn't bring it home. So tonight we're going to be cutting glass. Tonight we're going to be cutting glass with the Silver Snit 2000, and I just really, really like this cutter. And you can see the little rest for your finger, your index finger right there. So those of you that when you're cutting glass and you see different colors and you see different glasses. I guess we could go to, but let me just share this with them right here. So this is a Kokomo here. This is a 78. This is a Kokomo. It's 4 colors mixed together. What you'll find is when you're cutting this type of glass, opaque glass, that the colors are stacked up, and you can see how this is made. It's probably, well, it's got 5 colors in it. So there's 5 different ladles of glass, 5 different colors, and they're all brought over to the table. And then the person, whether it's a man or a woman, that mixes these colors together and can sit there and mix this color consistently, day after day, crate after crate, and make it look just absolutely gorgeous, is quite the talent. But the other thing is the annealing process of this glass. This is annealed beautifully. It cuts like butter, and it's a beautiful glass in the light. And I don't know if you can see that a little bit. Well, yeah, you can kind of see it because, there's my shadow on my finger right there.
So you do have approval to cut that. Go ahead and cut that glass.
Yeah, so is it okay if we have approval? Magali, I know it's not iridized, so it's okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, I just want to straighten this up. But you know, whether you're cutting your opaque glass against the grain or up and down it. Right now we're going to go against it. And you can hear that somewhat, but you can't hear it all the time because of the certain colors are harder and softer. And you can see where the white is here, purple, and then when it gets down here to the blue, that's where we started hearing our cutter. So now we're going to come up here and we're going to square this up. So those of you that don't have a square, that you don't have a square in your tool arsenal, you really should get one because they're so nice to have in your tool arsenal. And I'm just going to reach in here with my grousing pliers. Now I went through a little hole right there, so it may or may not break correctly. And it did. But, you know, these little pucker marks, what it did is it did give me just a little pucker mark there. But this glass is so pretty, y'all. And it works really well pretty much no matter what you want to cut out of it. And we all know where these go in the bottoms of the fleur-de-lis in the bottom of the window. So we know how Ed's going to do this. We're going to eliminate some of this weight that we don't need around here, and then we're going to come in and we're going to start taking this out. Now remember, when we're cutting our pattern, we always just stay against the black line. We don't want to go on it. We don't want to go in it. We don't want to cross it. I think I have everything where everybody can still see this. Am I in the camera bar? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you remember, you know, just like turning the wheel in your car, if the wheels are moving, the steering wheel turns so much easier. So I'm always moving forward, and I'm always driving my wheel forward. Okay, so here we go. So we've got that. So I've started to run, and now we want to. So we come around like that. Now that's our weakest point. I was pulling down too hard, and instead of it running, it went to its weakest point. Now I just started that run again, and we're going to try and take it around this trip. Now we have to go inside because we want this point. If we're pulling on this side, we're not going to be able to keep that point. So keep that in mind. We want to be able to take that. Oh, there it goes. It's coming around. I can see it now. It's right here. We're going to come back around. Just like that. And there we go. So now when I move all this stuff out of the way here, you can see that we just took that out, and we did it with 3 tools. We did it with our Silversmith 2000, we did it with our Silversmith running pliers, and our grousing pliers. Now y'all, if you take the time to eliminate most of the glass around this, or use a piece that will do that for you, you're going to find that even taking out pieces like this with these points and these inside curves will be much easier for you and create the confidence you need to cut 100 of these.
100.
If you need them.
If you need them, that's right.
If you need 'em.
Get them. Get them.
So, but you know, those those little things, they're on both sides of the fleur-de-lis in a lot of windows that you restore. So, anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody.
Thank you, Ed. That was nice. I have a question here. How often should I use the
Well, here's the thing. What I think about that is you shouldn't use it at all because it puts off the fumes that it puts off are just disgusting and not good for you. The other thing is if you'll use a damp sponge, not a wet sponge. If you'll use a damp sponge, the salmonella block is used for tinning, for supposedly to help tin your iron. Here's the thing: if you're not using a soldering iron control, you're probably going to need 3 or 4 of those blocks because you're just burning your iron up. But if you'll use a soldering iron control, and then you'll find out you won't be tinning your iron. The other thing is keep the flux away from your soldering iron tip, and never ever clean your soldering iron with flux. Always use a damp sponge, not a wet one, and then use it like that. And make sure, here's something that's really important. It's really important with your soldering irons, before you turn it off, you clean it with a damp sponge, then you put a blob of solder on both sides and then turn it off.
One thing I do want to point out, I did a little bit of research on that, and that salmonic block is used in the electronics industry because the solder that they use is not like the solder
they
that
use
we
a rosin core.
the same solder that we use for stained glass. So they do get a buildup on their little tiny tip, and that's what it's for. It's very abrasive on your tip.
It's not any good for the $60 iron.
And if you'll look at, if you'll check with your manufacturers, all the manufacturers say don't use it. There's one, the Hacko, they say do use it, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's the great debate about that, and we find that just a very, very damp sponge, quickly clean it. You'll never have to. Never have to worry about
you shouldn't
your
have
tip.
to tin your soldering iron.
Well, you do at the beginning, but that should be it.
And there's something. You just do it at that, but that's it. You shouldn't. It shouldn't ever. I don't know. I got soldering irons that I've been using for years, and I've never had to tin the tip on them. So.
Well.
But it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, you have. Sometimes you just have to. But
I wouldn't use that.
I wouldn't use the sound.
There's not really any need for it. Okay. Question. My Weller came with a wider tip. What is typical size tip I should order to replace with?
Well, if you do copper foil, you can use a 1/4 inch or a 5/16 tip. Typically, your Weller 100P is going to come with a 3/8 chisel tip, and that's a good tip to use because it really piles on the heat. And the other thing is you can just turn it up on its side and solder your copper foil. So there's really nothing that you don't have to have a tiny tip. What you have to do is make use of the tip that you have and learn how to use that 3/8 tip. Use it on its side and solder your bead like normal. But a 1/4 inch tip, you can order that one and you'll have 2 tips. But if you for lead, I would leave the 3/8 chisel tip on there.
Okay, here's another question. I made a lid with a geode that's about 3x4. It's heavy. How can I reinforce it? Wrap cane around it? Question mark.
Well, you can't. You can't wrap.
Thicker copper foil.
Yeah, just use a thicker copper foil, and you're gonna have to, if you're gonna try and hinge it. Typically, here's the thing, guys, about the construction of boxes. Okay, typically, if you're gonna have a lid that's really heavy, you should design the box so that the lid can be just lifted up rather than hinged, because it's really detrimental to it if you can't get the hinge to work correctly because of the weight of the jewelry box lid. But if you'll make the lid where it just, it picks up and sets off and then you put it back on, that's one way of doing it. The other thing is use the geodes that are only 1/8 of an inch thick instead of the 1/4 inch ones, because they're definitely much lighter, and you can incorporate that into your box. But like Barbara was saying, if you're gonna hinge it and you want it to move, just use a wider hinge and make sure that you reinforce that back edge, because eventually it's gonna want to come off unless you reinforce it correctly. And that's basically a heavy duty wire around the outside edge and beating up a 1/4 inch or even 5/16 foil around that edge to make sure that it's very rigid.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or like I said, next time try and use a thinner geode, because they sure are pretty on those boxes when you do them right.
The Weller comes with a 3/8 tip, but you can get a smaller one.
Yeah, you can get a smaller
There's
one.
a variety of different tips for the Weller. Someone said they were told not to use the rheostat with the Weller. That's crazy. Of course, use a rheostat unless you like working at the same temperature all the time.
Well, and if you want to know why you're having this problem and that problem and this problem and the other problem while you're soldering, if you'll use a rheostat, all those problems will disappear. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Well, even Weller recommends you use a soldering iron controller. Here's the thing. I know Weller makes a 600-degree tip. They make a 700-degree tip, and they make an 800-degree tip. And nobody works at those temperatures, because your copper foil tape will lift up from the heat. The other thing is it's too hot, and you can't bead up your work unless you're really, really proficient and you can run, 2 or 3 feet of solder within just 30 seconds or so. You should work that hot if you're that fast and it looks good when you're done with it, then yeah. But if you'll use a rheostat, you'll find that you're not going to be boiling your flux before your solder gets on it.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, Michael, thank you. We appreciate that.
We appreciate that.
And just remember, guys, use a rheostat and you'll find that your work will change. And there's several of our viewers here that didn't use rheostats a while back, and they do use them now, and their work has changed. And that's and they'll tell you here on the channel that their work has changed when they started using a rheostat. So
hey Ed, are you going to make another attempt on making glue chip glass?
This summertime, we
might.
Yeah,
maybe this summer we will.
Yeah, this summer we will. The thing about making glue chip glass outside in the wintertime is there's not really enough intense light to properly dry the glue and make it do what it's supposed to. But yeah, that sounds like a nice little gig. Actually, we got the glue chipping stuff out the other day because we're moving some stuff around in the back. So
yeah. Here's a question. How do I know where to cut the glass on a pattern when using my running pliers? You use your running pliers on the score.
Yeah, the running pliers fit directly on the score, and then of course you squeeze it, and the run will run itself out. And it may not go all the way around a curve. It may do a lot of different things, but your running pliers, the little arrow on the top goes directly on top of your score, and then you squeeze, and typically that allows the running pliers to work and do their duty for you.
Robert has one of his pups under his desk snoring, so he can barely hear.
I know Miss Mary just went for a walk.
Okay, rheostat on the order list. Very good. Go to our Amazon store. We have a good one there. It's very inexpensive and it'll save you a lot of
I'm telling you, and I
a
know
lot of problems.
I sound like a broken record, and but I tell you that for a reason, not because I want you to buy a rheostat, but because I want your work to change and for you to be more confident when you're soldering.
The rheostat that we recommend is on the Amazon ARTyRV stained glass store. And Ray has a link on that. And we have a link in our description. And I think at the beginning, underneath of the description of this video, you'll find all the links to our stores and
Right.
our Facebook page and everything.
And when you guys patronize
Thank
our
you, Ray.
store, we make a very small commission on that, but we thank you in advance because it all helps the world go round. So we appreciate it, guys.
What is the difference in zinc U-cane and zinc border cane?
Well, they're both used, and one's probably just a little bit smaller than the other. The outside edge came, the glass bites 1/8 of an inch, and typically that outside zinc is normally 3/8 or a 1/2 inch, but the glass only goes into 1/8 of an inch. So you want to make sure you got a lot of measuring to figure out if you're going to use zinc on the outside, you need to make sure that comes into play with your final size of your window that you're working on. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you measure everything correctly according to the lead or the zinc that you're using.
Yeah, I'm not sure what maybe the border came is flat. I'm not sure, but all zinc came is flat, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, we have, we don't use zinc in our store, so, in our studio, so I don't, the zinc cane is, the outside stuff is probably like a U. It's pretty rigid, but, the difference in the two is the difference in the metal. The lead is just like a round U, and it looks really nice on your pieces, and it's easy to work with. So.
Okay, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer. We're going a little bit over tonight because we have a lot of people here tonight. We want to make sure we answer
and we don't have anywhere
the
to go.
questions. We don't have anywhere to go. Mary went for a walk.
Right. And we don't do milkshakes anymore.
Wish I had a milkshake.
But,
I got a glass of ice water.
Yeah, and we
How
may
about
be
some
able to
ice
do
water with
milkshakes
lemon?
periodically, but not this month.
What did we have? We had something the other day. I can't remember
What did we do? Oh,
it was a treat.
yeah. Well, we went to Chick-fil-A for the first time in a month and a half.
That was really good.
It was really good. So I had their grilled chicken sandwich with the lettuce and tomato on it, and that.
But we're eating at home these days.
We
trying
are.
to be good. Trying to be good.
Well, everything out there that is fast food is just just fast food. That's all.
It's got a lot of sodium in it, a lot of fat. We don't need any of that. So we're trying to be good and get back in shape. So
trying to get back in the healthy end of it, So I was looking at it's been a month since I've been out of the hospital because I had all my medications refilled today. So I'm feeling better.
more rheostat questions, okay?
I'm going to get a t-shirt. My buddy Phil, we're going to make a t-shirt.
Rheostat. Okay. Is it copper cane flexible enough to form a circle border? Is copper cane? Should be.
Well, if you have the lead, if you have the brass jacketed
Copper.
yeah, you can bend it, but you're gonna have to if you're gonna bend if you're gonna bend those metals, y'all, you need to use a cane bender, especially if you're trying to make a circle. You need to use a cane bender in order to make that round and not get any flat spots in it.
What do you set the rheostat at?
Well, that's going to depend on where you're working. I work with my rheostat between 7 and 8, like 7.5 or 8. And then if I'm working on copper foil, I turn it up a little bit. But I always do a test. I want to know how fast that the solder is going to melt, and I want to see how far it melts behind me if I'm using copper foil. Because typically you can start out doing 1, 2, 1, 2, the touch and go method, and then you can go back and finish it and beat it out correctly if you need to.
Okay. Why do you put solder on the tip of a soldering iron once you're done using it?
Because when I come back to it, I want it to be clean and ready to go.
So it's best to clean it and make sure it's ready to go.
And that little bit of solder on the end will make sure that your tip stays tinned during the heating process when you're getting ready to use it for the next shot. So remember, if you'll just it's just a simple little thing that, not everybody does it. It's what I do. And just what I do isn't etched in stone. It's just what I do and have been doing it for a very long time.
Oh, thank you, Beth. We appreciate that.
Awesome. Wow.
Thank you guys so much.
I know. You guys like all the colors in the light in the wall there. I know. That's what it is. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you, Beth.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to let that
That's
go
their
for a little
first
bit.
super on a live stream. Thank you so much, Beth. We really do appreciate
Thank you. It's greatly appreciated. Well, let's swing over to the teal color. There we go.
Yeah, so that's nice.
Okay. Yeah.
You see that little screen that Ed made for us back there? Isn't that cool? That's made out of satin glass.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about that's a good glass to use for your for a light box, satin tempered glass. That's expensive, but
Oh, we're getting thunder.
no, Taylor's taking the trash cans back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wow, I thought we were getting a bad thunderstorm like we had last night. Whoosh! That was something.
Okay.
That was something.
Thank you so much, Beth.
Yeah, thank you,
And
Beth.
everyone that gave us super chats tonight and super stickers, we really appreciate it. Those of you that have become members, welcome all the new members.
Yeah, and Scott, thank you for throwing out 5 members out last week for us. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So our members get a preview of the upcoming videos. They get them first, and we let you have those with no commercials, no interruptions. And a lot of times they're before they're edited or just with a little bit of editing, so you can always...
And Barbara calls them raw.
So,
She's like, I'm going to give it to them raw out there. I'm
so
like,
that you
man,
can enjoy them commercial
that's pretty
free.
raw, Barb.
So, yeah, we
Thank
might
you,
at
Joe.
some point add commercials to them when they get old, but for right now, they're commercial free for you guys, and we hope you enjoy them, and that's for the members.
Well, hey, because we've got so many new people that are just starting stained glass and everything
Yes.
and tuning into the channel. Last week we had a question about, well, how do you cut a circle without a small circle cutter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, number one, we did find a small circle cutter that will cut to a 1/2-inch circle, and we just haven't found out where to buy it for everybody yet. The other thing is if we have a moment, Barb, I just want to share how to take out a circle pretty quick. A simple way of doing it without a circle cutter. But
Okay.
for our beginners, it's a great way to learn how to make a circle.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if I could just share that with everybody, that'd be
Okay,
awesome.
if everybody
If
doesn't
you don't mind,
mind.
and don't go anywhere.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna get our silver snit. And remember last week when I drew this for you, and it's just a simple way to cut out a circle. So remember, when you're breaking glass, it's always down and away. Don't go down and in, because what that does is it puts a big hole right there in that. So this is how this is how I was saying last week, y'all. To cut out a circle. And this is one of the simplest ways. This is called the pinwheel method. And basically this is going to require your grousing pliers.
Down. Put it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, let me get this out of the way because we have a very special trash can now that we're in our living room here in our home. So there's how that will work, just like that, and then you can clean it up with the grinder, and it won't take but a second. But that's a very simple way to do what's called a pinwheel cut, and that will allow you to get a circle out of the glass that you're trying to help, trying to do. And if you don't have any other way to get a circle, the pinwheel method is surely a good way to use to make a circle. So.
What is it? What are you doing?
She's ready for a treat, Mommy. She's ready for a snack.
What is the matter with you?
She's ready for a snack.
Oh, stop it.
She's ready for a snack. She's a piece of work now.
Stop it. She's ready for a snack. Thank you, Ed. That was good.
Was that all right?
Yeah, that was great. She didn't like it, but she's gonna knock her camera over. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Y'all, she's so
She
funny.
doesn't listen very well. I'm gonna have to go get her a biscuit.
Oh, she's fine. So,
Okay.
anybody got any other questions? I noticed that the question about the skylight was less, and I want to say hi because last week when I was talking about Les, I had another memory loss, and I forgot Lena's name, Les, in mid-stroke. And I
Yeah,
apologize
Les
for
wanted
that.
to know if you put the
But
skylight between two pieces of glass.
you don't need to put it between two pieces. You need to put a piece on the bottom and then put the glass on top of it. That'll be fine. But you don't need to encapsulate it. Les, you don't need to encapsulate it in between two pieces of glass. Because that'll just being in the kitchen and up in the light, it's going to cause a lot of moisture, and it's not something that you want to, do. Okay. But yeah, so you could use the one piece of glass, and that keeps it from sagging, but you also want to make sure that you do reinforce the stained glass itself. So Mary just took off with her treat, and we won't see her for a few more minutes. Thank you, Barbara.
She's bad. That's the only thing I can do to keep her quiet.
She is.
Okay.
So hopefully she didn't get all y'all's dogs in an uproar, and but if she did, she's just saying hi to everybody.
So if you have a question, just put it in the chat. I don't see any. Oh, why do you want to put? Oh no, we answered that one.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We'll be happy to answer.
And I did get your package, Pauline, and that's really a pretty piece of glass. Thank you.
And thank you for everyone that's helped tonight answering questions from viewers and members, and
Right.
we really do appreciate it. And if there's no more questions, I think we'll head out
We'll head right out over there.
because my chat's not moving. I don't think we have any more questions. I can check.
We're
and
going to
make
check it
sure.
out. Let's just make sure, Barb, that we don't have any more questions. And we'll see exactly what's going on. So I hope everybody was safe with all these bad weather that we've been having the last couple of days. And this past weekend, the weather was really, really bad.
Yep, it was.
So how are we looking there, Barb? So yeah, Barb got a new Mac, and that was our final piece of equipment that we had to purchase for the media project, and it seems to be doing.
I don't know, Ed. I can't see where the B is. Better just support my favorite teacher. Okay, I'm not getting my feed here.
Okay.
I'm not getting my chat feed right here for some reason. Let me see. Is that better?
There you go.
Okay. I don't know what I just did. That's a live chat. Okay.
I don't know, but you're back up where you need to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Elisa, did we get that?
Oh, I don't think so. Hey,
Thank
Elisa.
you, Elisa.
Thank
We
you.
were stuck and I didn't get to see that. Thank you so much.
It's like our chat timed out, and it took it a minute to catch up. But so thank you, Elisa. We appreciate that. Got our multicolor wall going like crazy.
Their shop where you are. Let's see. I'm just trying to read through here and make sure I've got all the questions answered, and it looks like I do. If you have a question, put it in the chat, and
Yeah.
thank you guys so much.
Oh, there's a question.
Yeah. How is your decorative soldering going? I'm almost finished. I didn't get as much.
That's a question for Barbara. We like that.
I'm almost finished. I didn't get it completed because my computer ran out of memory and I was waiting for my MacBook to come in, and
It's here.
It's here, and so I should be able to finish it. What a nightmare it's been.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard.
Well, now
It's-
we're in the classroom. But the other thing is, guys, here's the thing: is by moving the YouTube studio via the media project, we have opened up a room for Barbara to do her videos at the shop. So we were like one room short. And now we have the amount of rooms that we need.
So you can't
right?
chase me out of that room now.
I know, but because I use the classroom not just for classes, but when the class is over, I'm drawing windows in there, and getting people to come in and approve their drawings and approve their colors. That room is very useful to me because I have all three of my tables in the stained glass room. In general, are full of windows right now. I've got 3 projects going on.
And then I use the classroom to do repairs, and
Start other projects.
so I've moved all my things to a room of my own.
It's all good, y'all, because that's how it happens. It all works together like that.
Thank you, Macaulay. Okay, so we thank you guys. And, if you have a temperature controller on the iron, do you still need a rheostat?
No. That acts that is your rheostat.
Temperature controller is a rheostat.
Is a
Yeah,
rheostat.
That's what you need.
Yeah. So you want to, again, you don't want to. Not all irons have temperature controls on the iron. Once you spend, over $100 on an iron, they usually do have a temperature control in that. Barbara happened to have an extra treat here, and
I shouldn't do that.
That sufficed Miss
spoiling
Mary,
her, but-
that's for sure. She
Yeah.
spoiled all get out. So we don't mind running over a little bit late. You guys just need to come up with the questions to keep us hanging out, because we're happy to stay here with you and answer your questions, because I know that everybody out there doesn't have the answer to all the questions that they're thinking.
Yeah. So we're going to go watch TV. We're going to watch TV. What are we
guess
going to
we
watch?
can.
I don't know what we're
I
going to
don't
watch.
know, what is tonight? Monday night.
What is tonight? Monday night.
Tonight's Monday night. Now, I don't know. I like TV on Thursdays now, because I like I like that new show Ghost. It's pretty funny. I like that. And what's that other one that we like? Oh, So Help Me Todd. That's pretty funny.
And Elsbeth.
Elsbeth, yeah, she's something else, isn't she? She's a little bit. You have to watch that and to keep up with it. So,
I might watch some YouTube tonight. I don't know.
I don't know. We might watch something. We're gonna watch something. Right now, we're watching the dog eat a snack, and we're watching you guys waiting on a question. So, Barb, if we don't have any more questions,
I don't think we do.
I think to have a light box.
What is the surface made of for a light box?
It's glass.
Tempered.
Tempered safety glass for the light box. So you have a wooden frame around it. You have a bottom. You have lights inside of it, and then you have tempered safety glass on the top. And it's always, you should use an obscure tempered safety glass in order to make it so it's opaque and diffuses that really bright light. Y'all, the LED lights now that you're going to be putting inside your light boxes are really bright, so you definitely use a textured, obscure, tempered safety glass.
Okay. All right, Karen. She got her
Oh,
tobacco leaves. Thank you for doing that,
Yeah,
Karen.
thanks for
That's
doing
great.
that. So,
Okay, y'all.
I guess we're gonna
everyone out there, thank you for everything. Thank you for what? You guess
No,
what?
I just want to say thank you and good night to everybody, and we appreciate everything tonight, y'all. Everything. So for the ARTyRV channel, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and by the way, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great week.